Welcome back to the channel. My name is Patrick, and in today's video I have a live trade review. So I was able to actually capture some of the trade play out, but I wasn't able to get the entry. But in this video I'm going to explain where I got in, why I got in, and why I had to use a negative risk to reward ratio for this example. If you find this useful, you know what to do. Support the channel by hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll keep getting these examples out to you. Let's get busy. Okay, so before I show you how it played out, let's talk about the setup first, and I explain to you why I got in, where I got in. Okay, so we're on Euro USD, zoomed out now. Let's see if we can zoom out a little bit more. Okay, we could do better than that. H1, there we go. H1, as you can see, we are downtrending still. Okay, so we have higher lows being created. This was consolidation actually. Then it broke out of this consolidation zone when it beat this low here. When it beat that low there, okay, and it started trending. So pole, flag, pole, it broke that zone, flagged back into that zone, touched it and pulled out aggressively. So this Monday morning, it actually gapped up and hit that zone again. So I was looking at it as potentially a reversal, but this isn't a reversal setup here, okay? This isn't a reversal price action at all, okay?
Okay.
Reversals tend to have a fake breakout, a left shoulder, a right shoulder. There's no left shoulder here, so it's fair to assume that this is continuing to go down, okay? So that's the first thing I saw, right? There's no real reversal. It is trending down, so it just continue going down. So I was looking for a sell. So it gapped up, this gap here, and I've mentioned this in a few videos. When we have gaps in the market or the price action tends to go back to fill those gaps, okay? So it's like an inefficiency, it needs to fill those gaps, okay? So it gapped up considerably this morning, and I was expecting to sell it. Now, very simple trade, if you think of it that way, if you look at it from the higher time frame and you look at it to the lower time frame, you see the gaps. That's two very good reasons to sell it. So I was looking for the sell, very simple. But before I got into the sell, the problem is it is a sell, right? And the problem is when to get into the trade and when is it going to fill this gap. It's not necessarily going to do that today. Today's Monday. Mondays are notoriously slow, okay? It's known for just dragging and being choppy and not moving fast at all, okay? So I wasn't expecting all of this. I'm not necessarily expecting all of this to be filled today, but I still need to get into if I see the opportunity based on price action. The only problem I had with this trade was the range and also this. So this is my high. So you know like what I like to see? I like to see some price action coming up, a drive to continue, fakes like it's continuing, and then a reversal and break. So this is my intraday reversal scalping setup that I like to trade. The problem I had with this setup here is we have this high and this high, and it's almost looking like equal highs, right? So the problem with that is when people who trade support and resistance, they see this, they tend to sell based on that, right? And leave their stop losses in this zone above here. That's a problem for me because I know price likes to run stop losses before it goes and does what it's supposed to do. So there's a potential that my simple trade may not have worked out because of this. But however, I was willing to take the risk. I just saw too many indicators suggesting it was going down. So what I did to manage this trade was not to over leverage, and I was able to then to get into a trade when I saw the price action to confirm that what I wanted to do or what I wanted price to do was happening, and then I got into the trade and I ignored this, okay? But I still had to manage my risk. So let's talk about that, how I manage my risk. Here we go. So price gapped up, we had our drive up, pulls down, and from this zone here, it should then push up to break this to continue its uptrend, right? And even run these equal lows, equal highs here, but it didn't here. It just consolidated, waited, and it then actually broke the low that created that drive up. Okay, so we got a fake breakout. That's what that is now. It pushes up, comes here, and from here, it's meant to drive up to continue an uptrend, but it consolidates, turns around, and breaks this low here. Once it broke that low, that's when I got in. So that was my entry.
Yeah, boy.
I got in there, and then as usual, I was looking for my 10 pips. Okay, so this is why it ended up being a negative risk to reward. Okay, because this drive up here is actually quite considerable. So let's look at this range. From this low here to this high here is 30 pips. I didn't want to use a 30 pip risk to reward when I'm going for a 10 pip TP. That would have made it a negative 3 to 1. I don't like using negative 3 to 1. I'm happy to use a maximum of a negative risk to reward ratio of 2 to 1. So 20 pips is what I was looking for. So I know I've said so many times in multiple videos, the best place to leave it is at the swing high, which is still the case. But in this situation, because I didn't want to risk 30 pips, I had to manage my risk. I wanted to risk 20 pips. So 20 pips from here would have been just about yay here, okay? Just there. And I was happy to place my stop loss there. It was above this swing high. I was risking 20 pips, and I'm still going for my 10 pips, okay? Now, as I mentioned, it is going down towards this gap. It can feel this gap, the whole of this gap today, but the trade came just before, or the setup came just before the London session open. London session has a tendency to be quite volatile on open, so entering here, it could have pushed up, stopped me out, took those equal highs, then came down to fill this gap. Or it could work in my favor and drove down even further. But as I got in already before London session, I was looking for my 10 pips before London session started, because I didn't want that reversal or that manipulation to come and take me out, then continue potentially to fill this gap. So basically, I had reasons to stay disciplined, and to be honest, that's all I want to do. I want to be disciplined anyway. So I wanted 10 pips, had to risk 20 pips, and by default, I just ended up using a negative risk to reward ratio, because that's what I needed to do to be able to stay in this trade. Yes, I could have moved my stop loss further down. I could have switched to M1. I could switch to M1 here, and based on my entry, I could have left my stop loss just above this swing high, or even this swing high, okay? Because again, it's the same price action where we have the drive and a break. So that's a pole, flag, pole. So you can actually leave your stop losses on the top of the flags, okay? Before it pulls out, okay?
Okay.
So, and that would have made my risk roughly about 12 pips, okay?
Again!
So that works as well. If you're not comfortable using negative risk to reward ratio, you can actually go to a low time frame and you can find a place that you can leave your stop loss. But as I've mentioned in the past, there's no reason price can't come all the way up here to stop you out, tag in to this price action and go again. It tends to happen. So that's why I try to leave my stop loss where I prefer, and that's usually at least a maximum of 2 to 1 risk to reward ratio, 20 pips maximum in my trades. I prefer to do a 1 to 1, but if I have to use a 2 to 1, so be it, okay? So I'm gonna switch over now, show you guys how the trade played out, and we'll conclude the video. There you go. As you saw, price went straight to TP. Didn't take long at all. I wasn't able to actually record because I was getting my kids ready for school. I was able to take the trade. It didn't take me a long time to analyze. It didn't take me a long time to reach TP. And now I've got the rest of the day to myself, and I'm gonna spend it how I want, right? So hopefully this has been useful for you guys. Another example on how to trade using a negative risk to reward ratio, and also supply and demand setup that I use on a daily basis. If you find this useful, show your appreciation. hit the like button, support the channel, and I keep getting these examples out to you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. This is Patrick signing out. Until next time, peace.